Embracing the fear of failure, a journey to growth. Greetings, fellow humans. Today, we're tackling a topic so universally terrifying, so gut-wrenchingly relatable. It might just make you want to hide under your bed with a flashlight and a lifetime supply of snacks. We're talking about the fear of failure. Let's meet our friend, cautious Carol. Carol is a master of avoidance. She's an expert in the art of what if. She can conjure up worst-case scenarios faster than a popcorn machine at a movie marathon. Carol has dreams, of course. She dreams of opening her own bakery, writing children's books, and learning to fly a trapeze, don't ask. But these dreams are locked away in a heavily guarded vault in her mind, protected by a legion of what-ifs. What if the bakery fails? What if nobody likes my books? What if I fall off the trapeze and land in a giant bowl of custard? Okay, that last one sounds kind of fun, but Carol is still terrified. She's like a squirrel who's so afraid of falling out of a tree that she never actually climbs it. She's stuck on the ground, surrounded by acorns of potential, but too scared to reach for them. See, Carol's making a classic mistake. She's letting fear dictate her actions, or rather, her inaction. She thinks failure is the worst possible outcome, when really, the worst outcome is never trying at all. It's like being at a buffet and only eating the breadsticks because you're afraid you won't like anything else. You're missing out on a whole world of deliciousness, and maybe some questionable culinary choices, but that's part of the fun. The truth is, failure is not the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone. It's a learning opportunity. It's like a video game where you have to try multiple times to beat a level. You don't just give up after the first game over screen, do you? Unless it's a really hard level, then maybe. Failure is inevitable. Everyone fails at something at some point. Even the most successful people have a long list of failures behind them. It's part of the human experience. It's like tripping over your own feet. It happens. But here's the thing. It's not about avoiding failure altogether. It's about how you respond to it. It's about getting back up, dusting yourself off, and saying, okay, I learned something from that. Now let's try this again. Imagine this. You're learning to ride a bike. You're wobbly, you're nervous, and then you fall. Ouch. If you're like cautious Carol, you might decide that biking is not for you and stick to walking, or maybe even crawling. But what if you got back on the bike? What if you kept practicing, even though you fell a few more times? Eventually, you'd learn to ride, and the feeling of freedom and accomplishment would be amazing. That's the power of taking risks. It's about stepping outside your comfort zone, embracing the possibility of failure, and discovering what you're truly capable of. It's about realizing that the only way to avoid failure is to do nothing at all, which is, ironically, the biggest failure of all. So how do we overcome the fear of failure? Here's the super secret, top-level Ninja Master advice. Reframe failure. Stop thinking of failure as a negative thing. Instead, see it as a learning opportunity, a chance to grow and improve. It's like getting feedback on your homework, even if it's not the grade you wanted. Focus on the process, not the outcome. Instead of fixating on whether you'll succeed or fail, focus on the steps you need to take to achieve your goal. Enjoy the journey, even if it's bumpy. It's like going on a road trip. The destination is great, but the drive itself can be fun too. Unless you get stuck in traffic, then maybe not so much. Start small. Don't try to conquer your biggest fear all at once. Start with smaller, less intimidating risks. It's like learning to swim. You don't jump straight into the deep end. You start in the shallow end and gradually work your way up. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself, especially when you make mistakes. Everyone fails sometimes. It's part of being human. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just learn from it and move on. It's like spilling your coffee. It's messy and annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Celebrate your courage, even if you don't achieve your desired outcome. Celebrate the fact that you took a risk. That takes guts. Give yourself a pat on the back for stepping outside your comfort zone. It's like trying a new food. Even if you don't like it, you can still be proud of yourself for trying something new. And here's a bonus tip. Imagine the worst-case scenario. Really think about it. What's the absolute worst thing that could happen if you fail? Often, you'll realize that it's not as bad as you thought. And even if it is bad, you can probably handle it. It's like imagining you're giving a presentation naked. It's terrifying at first, but then you realize that you can just wear clothes. Overcoming the fear of failure is not about becoming fearless. It's about learning to manage your fear, to not let it control you. It's about realizing that failure is not the end of the world. It's just a part of the journey. So, next time you're feeling hesitant to try something new, remember Cautious Carol and her custard-related trapeze fears. Take a deep breath, embrace the possibility of failure, and go for it. You might just surprise yourself. Thanks for joining me on this fearless adventure. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with anyone who needs a little push to take a risk. And remember, the only way to truly fail is to never try at all.